The galaxy had united against one world. That world was Earth. The alien races called it justice. They called it order. But humans knew the truth. It was slavery. The sky of Earth was filled with alien ships, massive black vessels blocking the sun. People looked up and saw chains in the sky. Humanity was forced to work in their own cities, now controlled by alien guards. Factories produced weapons and resources not for humans, but for their masters. The Galactic Council believed humanity was broken. They thought the spirit of Earth was crushed. In every city, alien soldiers walked the streets. They mocked the weak. They punished the strong, and they laughed when humans bowed their heads. But in silence, in the shadows, humanity whispered, "We will rise." A fire still burned in their hearts. Children grew up hearing stories of a free Earth. Old men remembered wars where humans fought against impossible odds. Women hid maps, codes, and secrets inside daily work. The alien masters did not see it, but under their control something was growing, something dangerous. The Council told the galaxy that humans had accepted their chains. They broadcast images of humans working silently, images of humans bowing. They told every species, Earth is no threat, humanity is finished. But deep underground in hidden bases carved into mountains and oceans, humanity was preparing. No one knew the full truth, not even the slaves in the cities. Rumors spoke of secret fleets, ships built in silence, weapons forged in shadows. Some said Earth had nothing left. Some said humanity was too weak, but others believed, and that belief spread like fire. One night in New Shanghai, a young boy looked at the stars and whispered to his mother, "Will we always be slaves?" His mother smiled sadly. "No, child. Humanity does not stay broken forever." Her voice carried a quiet certainty, a promise of revenge. The aliens laughed at such hope. They thought humans were only dust, but sometimes dust becomes storm. Across the galaxy, alien leaders felt safe. They met in grand halls, drinking and boasting. Earth is under control, they said. The humans are nothing. They remembered old wars where humanity resisted, but they believed those days were gone. Still, in the dark, alien patrol ships started to vanish. At first it was one ship, then another. The Council said it was pirates, nothing more. But the whispers grew louder. The humans are not broken. The humans are waiting. On Earth itself, strange symbols appeared on walls at night. A single word painted in red, rise. Alien guards destroyed the signs, but every morning they returned. Always the same word, always the same warning, rise. In the slave camps, prisoners spoke in low voices. They told stories of human ships hiding beyond the edge of the galaxy. They said human scientists were building weapons more powerful than anything seen before. Alien officers dismissed it as lies. Yet fear began to grow. The silence of Earth was not weakness. It was patience. And patience can be deadly. The Council sent messages to every species. Stay calm. Humanity is finished. But their own soldiers began to question. Why do the humans still look at us with fire in their eyes? Why did they not break completely? One alien commander walked through a camp and stared at the humans. He felt uneasy. Their bodies looked tired, but their eyes were sharp, unbroken. He whispered to himself, "They are planning something." And he was right. For in the cold dark of space, far from alien eyes, a single human fleet was rising. Ships painted black to hide against the stars, engines silent, weapons ready. Humanity was waiting for the right moment. The day of silence would end, the day of fury would come, and when it came, the galaxy would tremble. The galaxy believed Earth was broken, but deep in the shadows of mountains and oceans, a different truth was being written. Humanity was not finished. Humanity was preparing. In the deserts of old Africa, hidden beneath shifting sands, great tunnels led to secret hangars. Massive starships rested there, black as night, engines silent, weapons cold, waiting. They had been built piece by piece, hidden in crates marked as alien tribute, smuggled past guards. Every slave who worked in factories left behind small parts, stolen metals, coded messages. All of it came together to form a silent fleet. In the frozen wastelands of Siberia, under ice thicker than a city wall, humans tested weapons, energy cannons that could cut a cruiser in half, missiles that could blind entire fleets. Each weapon was designed in secret labs by scientists who pretended to serve their alien masters by day, but at night, they worked for Earth. They worked for revenge. The alien overseers saw humans bowing. They saw tired faces, broken bodies, and they believed it. But they never saw the hidden fire. They never heard the whispers. Children were trained in silence, not with wooden toys, but with coded songs and riddles. A child would sing in the street, and another child would answer. Together, their words formed maps and warnings. Every child carried resistance in their voice. The council sat high in their golden halls. They celebrated their power. They spoke of Earth as an example. This is what happens to those who resist the galaxy, they said. Humanity was crushed. Humanity is no more. But outside their walls, the truth was crawling toward them like a storm. Whispers spread from world to world. Some said alien patrols disappeared on the edge of human space. Others said human shadows walked again on old colonies thought to be abandoned. At first it was laughed off, dismissed as fantasy, but then convoys went missing. Entire outposts reported strange signals, and silence followed. The silence frightened them more than the signals. On Earth itself, rebellion wow. As painted across walls, a single word, rise. Alien guards erased it every day, but every night it came back. Humans walked with chains on their wrists, but their eyes told a different story. The aliens began to fear the eyes more than the weapons. One alien commander named Shirthar stood in New Shanghai. He had ruled there for years. He thought he understood humans. He thought they were broken. But one night he heard laughter, human laughter. It echoed from the alleys, wild and free. It was not the laughter of slaves, it was the laughter of warriors waiting. He felt cold fear crawl through his bones. Reports reached the council chambers. A dozen ships lost near the dark edge of the Orion Spur. Pirates, they said, smugglers, they said. But deep down, they felt unease. The missing ships carried weapons, the same weapons later found in human hands. One ambassador whispered, "Could it be them?" Another silenced him. "Impossible. Humanity is finished." But in hidden space docks, humanity's fleet grew. One ship became 10, 10 became hundreds, each one armed with fury, each one painted black as the void. Admiral Reyes, one of the last free commanders of Earth, stood before his hidden fleet. His voice was cold and steady. "For every chain they placed on us, we will break a world," his soldiers answered in silence. Their eyes burned with the fire of vengeance. No alien spy could enter, no alien sensor could see, but the day would come when all of it would be revealed. The first test came in the shadow of a dead star. A human ship waited, dark and silent. An alien patrol passed by, laughing, thinking the sector was empty. Then light erupted. The patrol vanished in seconds, cut apart by beams they did not even understand. The human ship vanished again into the void, leaving no trace but wreckage. The galaxy did not see the battle, but they felt the echo. Whispers ran through markets and spaceports. The humans are back. The humans are hunting. The council denied it, but even their own captains carried fear in their voices. On Earth, slaves began to feel hope. They saw the guards tremble. They saw fear in alien eyes, and in their hearts, they knew the storm was coming, the storm of humanity. And the galaxy, in all its pride, did not know how close it stood to the edge. The galaxy had grown comfortable in its lies. The council told every world, Earth is broken, humanity is no more. Yet deep in space, at the edge of forgotten stars, the silence was broken. It began with a signal. It was faint, almost like static. Alien operators dismissed it at first. They thought it was noise, but then the words became clear. The voice was human, steady, cold. "You enslaved us. You united against Earth. You believed we were finished, but we are coming." The message spread like fire across the networks. Some claimed it was false. Others said it was impossible. But many felt the chill in those words. For no alien spoke like that. Only humans spoke with such quiet promise of vengeance. The council called it a trick. "Do not fear. Humanity cannot fight," they declared. Yet fear already walked the halls of power. Ambassadors whispered in corners. Generals questioned their scouts. Even smugglers and traders spoke of dark ships moving without light. On the rim of the galaxy, a convoy of alien warships vanished. Only fragments of twisted metal were found, black scars cut across their hulls, weapons destroyed in seconds, no distress calls, no survivors, only silence. And again the signal came. We are watching. We are waiting. Your time will end. The aliens began to tremble. They remembered humanity's old wars. They remembered how humans fought with claws when stripped of weapons. They remembered battles where humans turned defeat into victory. Now they feared what humanity had become in chains. In the slave camps of Earth, whispers became louder. Families gathered in the night telling children, "The fleet is out there, the day will come." Alien guards noticed the change. The humans no longer bowed with empty eyes. They bowed with hidden smiles. They bowed as wolves bow before the hunt. An alien commander named Korthus sat in his warship near Earth. He had fought many battles. He had seen rebellion crushed 1,000 times. But as he looked at the planet below, he felt unease. The humans were too silent. Silence was more dangerous than screams. Reports arrived daily, outposts gone, patrols missing, supply lines cut. Always the same whisper followed. The humans are back. The council tried to control the panic. They issued orders to increase patrols. They sent fleets to guard borders, but the fleets found nothing. They searched the stars, yet the humans moved like ghosts, unseen, unstoppable. Then came the third signal. This time it was not a whisper. It was a roar broadcast across every frequency. It shook markets, homes, and war rooms. We were chained. We were mocked. You believed Earth was broken. But hear this now. Your civilizations will fall. For every chain you placed on us, 1,000 fires will rise. For every whip, 1,000 weapons. For every drop of blood, a world will burn. The galaxy froze. The words echoed through every station, through every council chamber, and deep inside, even the proudest alien leader felt fear. For these were not the words of slaves, these were the words of hunters. Ships began to move across hidden routes. Alien admirals tried to chase them, but the humans were never caught. They struck once, then vanished into the dark, leaving only wreckage, leaving only silence. Merchants spoke of seeing shadows in the stars, entire fleets moving without light. Refugees from border colonies fled, saying, "They came without warning, they left nothing alive." The council sat in their grand hall, trembling, their golden robes no la. Anger felt heavy with power. They argued, it cannot be humanity. It must be pirates. It must be another race. But none of them believed their own lies. Because in their dreams, they still heard the signal, that cold human voice, "You enslaved us. Now you will face us." And far beyond their sight, Admiral Reyes stood on the command deck of the human fleet, his eyes sharp, his voice steady. "We will no longer whisper. From this day, the galaxy will know our name again." The crew answered with silence. Their silence was not weakness. It was the silence before thunder, the silence before war. Humanity had spoken. Humanity had promised. And soon the promise would be kept. The galaxy had heard the signal, but they still did not believe. The council called it noise, alien lies, shadows in the void. They told their people, humanity cannot rise, humanity is finished. But lies cannot stop destiny. It began on the world of Thrylos, a proud alien colony near the rim. The skies above it were filled with patrol ships, strong fleets guarding trade lanes. The people laughed at the rumors. They trusted the council. They believed the humans were only ghosts, but on the night of the red moons, the sky tore open. From the blackness of space, ships appeared, silent, massive, and painted in shadows. They moved without light, their engines barely a whisper. To the aliens, they looked like monsters born of the void itself. The first beam fired, a single line of white fire cut across the stars. One alien cruiser split in two, burning silently as its crew screamed into the void. Then another beam, then another. Patrols scattered, but they were torn apart in seconds. The humans did not speak. They did not announce their names. They only destroyed. Admiral Reyes stood on the command deck. His voice was cold. No mercy for slavers. His crew answered with silence. Their weapons spoke for them. Alien captains shouted into their comms. Pirates, invaders, unknown fleet. But their words were drowned by the explosions ripping through their warships. Within minutes, half the Thrylos defense fleet was gone. On the planet below, civilians looked up at the burning sky. They had mocked the humans. They had called them weak. Now they watched in terror as fire rained down from the heavens. The human fleet descended closer. Missiles screamed. Beams tore towers in half. Factories that once forced humans into slavery exploded into fire. Every building marked with chains was erased. Every overseer's command post was turned to rubble, but the humans did not strike the workers. They targeted only the masters, only the chains. The slaves looked up through smoke and ash, and for the first time in years, they saw hope. In the council's chambers, panic spread. Messages arrived from Thrylos, broken, desperate. Unknown fleet, unstoppable. We cannot fight them. They destroy everything. They are human. The chamber fell silent. The word hung heavy in the air. Human. It was a word they had buried, a word they had erased, and now it returned like a blade against their throat. The retaliation spread. One colony after another fell. Human fleets struck in silence, appearing from the dark, destroying in minutes, then vanishing again, leaving only wreckage and fear. The galaxy demanded answers. Alien citizens shouted, "Where is the council? Why cannot our fleets defend us?" But the council had no answers. They were as blind as the rest. In secret, generals whispered, "How did Earth build this power? How did they hide it from us?" But none of them could understand. None of them had seen the thousands of slaves who smuggled pieces of steel. None of them had seen the scientists who worked in secret. None of them had seen the patience of mankind, for patience had turned into fire. Admiral Reyes sent a single broadcast to the galaxy. His face was stern, his voice sharp. "You enslaved us. You mocked us. You thought human. He would stay silent. Now hear this. For every world that held our chains, we will bring fire. For every overseer, we will bring judgment. For every council decree, we will bring destruction." And then he cut the signal. The galaxy trembled. Because humanity did not speak empty words, humanity proved every word with fire. On Thrylos, the last alien governor fell to his knees, begging for mercy. He screamed into the comms, "Please, we surrender, we give up." But the humans answered only with silence. Their ships turned his palace to dust. In the ruins of Thrylos, freed slaves raised their heads. They whispered one word, "Rise." And the word spread, world by world, camp by camp, until it became a storm. The galaxy had enslaved Earth. Now Earth was erasing civilizations, and this was only the beginning. The fall of Thrylos was only the spark. The galaxy did not know it then, but a fire had been lit. A fire that would sweep across stars, consume empires, and leave only ash. Alien worlds that once laughed at Earth now trembled. Cities that once displayed human slaves in chains now shook under the thunder of human fleets. The council tried to calm their people. "Do not fear, we are strong, humanity is weak." But every day new reports arrived, more fleets gone, more colonies erased. Human ships became nightmares in the void. They appeared without warning, they struck like lightning, and then they vanished, leaving wreckage drifting through the stars. Alien admirals tried to chase them, but it was like chasing shadows. The humans never fought where the enemy was strongest. They struck where pride was high and defenses were weak. One by one, civilizations that supported Earth's slavery began to burn. On the world of Shirath, the skies glowed with human fire. The alien rulers fled into bunkers, but the humans found them. The bunkers became tombs. On the trading hub of Valora, merchants once sold humans as property. Now the market was silent. Its towers collapsed into black smoke. The galaxy had united to enslave Earth. Now they were paying the price. Admiral Reyes stood before his captains, his voice steady. "We will not stop until every chain is broken, until every empire that touched Earth is erased." His crew answered with silence, but their eyes burned like stars. The humans did not strike blindly. Each attack was chosen with purpose. First, the worlds that held the largest slave camps, then the factories that built the council's fleets, then the homeworlds of those who had voted for human chains. Humanity was not only fighting, humanity was judging, humanity was punishing. The galaxy screamed for help. Civilizations sent pleas to the council, "Protect us, save us." But the council was drowning. Their fleets were scattered, their worlds under attack. Their proud voice of power had turned into silence. Fear spread faster than war. On distant colonies, slaves rose up against their alien masters. They carried only stolen weapons, but they carried human hope, and hope is more dangerous than any weapon. On the moon city of Orlin, a slave woman named Kayla led a rebellion. She shouted as human fleets burned the skies above, "They are here, humanity has returned." The slaves broke their chains and the alien masters fell. Kayla raised the human flag, a torn cloth hidden for years, and the people cried. Everywhere the humans struck, rebellion followed. Humanity was not only burning civilizations, humanity was awakening the galaxy. The council tried to meet, but their hall was filled with fear. "They will kill us all," one shouted. "We must beg for mercy," another cried. But mercy was already gone. The humans had spoken once, no mercy for slavers, and they meant it. Reports arrived that 3 council fleets had been destroyed in a single night, entire armadas gone, billions in resources lost, and not a single human ship captured, not a single human prison or taken. The council began to understand humanity had become something else, something greater, something unstoppable. Alien civilizations begged for peace. Some offered wealth, others offered surrender, but humanity answered with silence, silence followed by fire. On the world of Drelith, the alien king fell to his knees as human ships filled the sky. He shouted into his comms, "We surrender, we will serve you." But the reply came cold from Admiral Reyes. Humanity does not want servants. Humanity does not want chains. Humanity wants justice. And then the sky burned. Entire empires that once laughed at Earth were erased. The galaxy that had united in arrogance now shook in terror. The name of Earth became a curse whispered in fear. But for the slaves across the stars, the name of Earth became a prayer. The humans were not only fighting for revenge, they were fighting for every world that had known chains, every race that had tasted slavery. And in the shadows of war, the oppressed rose with them. But still, the galaxy did not know the full truth. They did not know how large the hidden human fleet truly was. They did not know how many weapons Earth had built in silence. They did not know how far humanity was willing to go. They would learn, for this was only the storm's beginning. The fire was still spreading, the civilizations had only begun to burn, and at the center of it all, Earth stood unbroken. Humanity stood unchained. Humanity stood in wrath. The galaxy had enslaved Earth, and now Earth would erase the galaxy. The galaxy had seen fire. Worlds had burned. Empires had fallen. But still the council told themselves they were safe. They said, "The humans cannot touch us. We are the heart of the galaxy. We are untouchable. But hearts can bleed, and even thrones can fall." The council hall was a fortress, a world of golden towers and endless fleets guarding it. The leaders of every alien race sat in those halls, wrapped in pride and fear. They spoke loudly, but their voices trembled. Reports poured in every hour. Entire fleets destroyed, colonies gone, trade routes shattered. The galaxy was collapsing. The council tried to hide it, but even their guards whispered, "The humans are coming." And then the message came, a single broadcast that reached every system, every ship, every throne. The screen showed the face of Admiral Reyes, calm and cold. His voice was steady. "You enslaved Earth. You united to break us. Now we unite to break you. Your fleets will shatter, your worlds will burn, and your council will fall." The transmission ended, but its echo did not. The halls of the council shook with silence. Some shouted, "We must negotiate." Others cried, "We must flee." But no one spoke of victory, because victory was gone. Outside their golden world, shadows moved in the void. Human fleets gathered in silence, black ships with no banners, no lights, only vengeance. The first strike came at the council's border worlds. Cities turned to ash, defense fleets destroyed in minutes. The aliens screamed into their comms, "Send reinforcements, send fleets." But reinforcements never arrived. Humanity struck faster than the council could think. Alien citizens across the galaxy watched in terror. Their leaders had promised safety, but now even the core was trembling. Rebellion rose in streets. Slaves painted walls with the word "Rise." People shouted, "The humans are here." The council sent their strongest fleet, 1,000,000 ships shining with the pride of the galaxy. They gathered at the gates of their world, engines glowing, weapons charged. They waited for humanity. They believed numbers would save them, but numbers mean nothing against fury. When the human fleet arrived, it was like the night itself had swallowed the stars. The alien captains gasped as their sensors failed. Their systems went dark. Their weapons were blind. And then the fire began. Beams cut through cruisers. Missiles tore apart carriers. In the first hour, thousands of alien ships were gone. In the second hour, the galaxy's strongest fleet was broken. In the third hour, silence filled the void. Silence, except for the burning wreckage of those who thought themselves eternal. The council hall shook as the ground quaked with explosions. Alien leaders screamed, "Protect us! Protect the council!" But there was no protection left. The humans had reached the gates. Admiral Reyes stood before his fleet, his voice steady. "Today, the council falls. Today, we end the chains." And the humans answered with fire. The golden towers crumbled. Palaces turned to ash. The great chambers that once commanded the galaxy were buried in dust. Leaders who had enslaved Earth fell to their knees. Some begged for mercy, others tried to flee, but none escaped. The galaxy watched as the council's light went dark. The voice that once ruled the stars was gone. In the ruins of the council hall, a human flag was raised, not in gold, not in pride, but in silence. A torn cloth, black and white, marked with earth. It was not raised for glory, it was raised for memory. For every chain, for every scar, for every life taken, the galaxy trembled, the council had fallen, and humanity stood above their ruins. But Admiral Reyes spoke not of peace. His words were colder than the void. "This is not the end. This is only the judgment. Until every slaver empire is ash, humanity will not rest." The galaxy understood then. The fall of the council was not the end of humanity's wrath. It was only the beginning of the final storm, and in that storm, entire civilizations would vanish. The council was gone, its golden towers turned to dust, its fleets scattered like ashes in the void. But humanity's war was not yet finished. Their wrath had not cooled. Their fire had not dimmed. The galaxy had once united to enslave Earth. Now the galaxy was silent. Whole empires that mocked humanity were erased. Great Cetos. Apatals stood in ruins, once proud rulers hid in shadows, praying not to be found. But prayers cannot stop vengeance. Admiral Reyes stood on the command deck of the flagship Vengeance, his eyes sharp, his voice steady. Around him the fleet stretched into the endless dark. A sea of ships painted black, engines silent, weapons glowing faint red like coals waiting to burn. He spoke to his crew, to his soldiers, to his people. Chains were placed upon us. Worlds laughed at us. The galaxy united to break us. And now you see their ruins. Humanity is no longer a slave. Humanity is no longer weak. Humanity is no longer silent. Today we are the fire that cannot be stopped. The crew answered not with cheers, but with silence. Their silence was heavier than thunder. It was the silence of hunters after the kill. It was the silence of judgment. Word spread across the stars. The council is gone. The humans have destroyed them. Civilizations burn. The galaxy trembled. No one had thought it possible. No one had believed a world once chained could rise so high. But Earth had risen, and in their rise the stars themselves seemed to bow. On the slave worlds chains were broken. Camps opened. People cried in freedom. They looked to the skies and whispered, "Earth has saved us." They lit fires in the night, chanting the name of humanity as if it were a prayer, as if it were salvation. But humanity had not fought for prayers. They had fought for memory. They had fought for justice. They had fought for vengeance. In the ruins of the council's core, alien survivors begged for mercy. They crawled on the ground offering wealth, offering surrender. But Admiral Reyes's voice came cold. Humanity does not trade with slavers. Humanity does not bow to chains. Humanity does not forget. And fire followed. Entire civilizations disappeared in silence. Planets that once chained Earth left empty. Fleets that once mocked humans were drifting wrecks. Names that once ruled the stars became only whispers, lost in smoke. The galaxy entered a new age, not of peace, but of fear. Everywhere the story was the same. When people looked up at the night sky, they no longer feared the council. They no longer feared their old rulers. They feared Earth. They feared humanity. And yet, in the ashes, a truth was clear. Humanity had been enslaved, but they had not only risen for themselves, they had risen for all who had ever known chains. They had become a storm that destroyed oppressors and freed the oppressed. To the weak, humanity was hope. To the strong, humanity was terror. On Earth itself, the chains were gone, cities rebuilt, people walked free under their own sun again, but their faces carried no joy, only determination, for they remembered every scar, every whip, every humiliation. And they swore never again. Admiral Reyes looked upon the galaxy map, thousands of systems marked in red, worlds burned, fleets destroyed. He closed his eyes and whispered, "It is done." But even he knew it was not truly done. For the memory of chains does not fade, and humanity would guard that memory forever. At the galactic ruins, a monument was built, not in gold, but in stone, carved by human hands. On it were words simple and unbroken. Earth was enslaved, Earth was broken, Earth rose, and Earth avenged. Never again. The galaxy read those words, and they understood. Humanity had taken their vengeance. Humanity had shattered civilizations. Humanity had claimed their place, and in the endless dark of space, every species whispered the same truth. Do not chain Earth, do not provoke humanity, for their silence is deadly, and their fury erases civilizations. The war was over, but the legend had just begun. The legend of humanity unchained, humanity unstoppable, humanity eternal.